Nigeria leads African agenda. The 2025 Tokyo International Conference targets expansion of trade volume with Japan.
You need an industrial base, which is what Nigeria is trying to achieve.
We are working to ensure that efforts are inclusive, sustainable.
We must therefore transform humanitarian operations to be more efficient.
A call to stand with millions whose lives hang in the balance, honor those who help others as world commemorates Humanitarian Day. Food security, soil scientists and agriculturists advocate adoption of climate-smart technology.
Prefer solutions that will help to reinvigorate the environment.
Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Adiola Komiakere, and Benny will keep us up to speed with happenings in the world of business. Benny, what's trending?
Well, sharing news as more governors commit to attracting investment, not just for the growth of the national economy, but also the economies of the subnationals.
Many thanks, Benny. And of course, Badi Adele will give us a tip of the iceberg in the world of sports. Badi?
Well, Olajide, Nigeria Super Eagles Team B bowed out of CHAN 2024 on a high this evening with victory over Congo as the Tigers get set for the battle against Senegal.
All right, many thanks, Badi. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Nigeria is hoping to expand its $1 billion trade volume with Japan as it also leads African agenda to the 2025 Tokyo International Conference on African Development TICAD. President Bola Tinubu, in his first appearance, is leading Nigeria's delegation to the 9th edition of the conference, opening this Wednesday in Yokohama. State House correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab reports.
Japan-Africa partnership born in 1993 is set to witness a new approach toward addressing developmental issues on the Black continent. Under the Tickets 9 blanket theme, co-create innovative solutions with Africa, the parties aim to reaffirm commitment to the long-term collaborations with focus on Africa's economic transformation and improvements in the business environment and institutions through private investments and innovation.
In the case of Nigeria,
in the decades of bilaterals, Japan-Nigeria partnership has manifested in the agricultural and power sectors with trade volume at about $1 billion.
And of course, Nigeria exports huge amounts of hydrocarbons to Japan. So we're looking to expand that. You need an industrial base, which is what Nigeria is trying to achieve, which is what President Tinubu is committed to. And that way we can create those jobs for our teeming youths, tackle the issue of unemployment, and of course the macroeconomic reforms of President Tinubu are already in progress, and we're beginning to feel the positive effects.
Continental and global politics are also at stake as Nigeria is hoping for the support of the third largest economy in the world as it aims to strengthen its leading role in Africa with aspiration for seats in global organs, including the United Nations Security Council.
So that it leads the way in providing that restructuring of the global financial architecture so that the whole continent would benefit, so that Africa would benefit, and we need to be on the decision-making tables of the world, which is why we need that position in the United Nations Security Council.
President Bola Tinubu in Yokohama is expected to lead African Voice at the conference in addition to bilaterals and meetings with chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with investments in Nigeria. In Yokohama, Musbah Dan Wahab, NT News.
It's 19th August and the world today marks Humanitarian Day. a time to honor those who help others and to stand with the millions of people whose lives hang in the balance. In this report, Ruth Aguela takes a look at government interventions in bridging the gap from humanitarian crisis.
They're called to serve, service for humanity, providing succor to vulnerable groups in war-torn regions or disaster-torn communities. Today, the world celebrates their doggedness, resilience in the face of adversity as they continue to strive for a better society. It is the World Humanitarian Day, a day to recognize and honor humanitarian workers while promoting advocacy to meet humanitarian needs globally. For Nigeria, the growing concern for displacement that continues to breed as a result of natural and man-made disasters continues to wreak havoc across communities, poses concern for the humanitarian actors.
Nigeria is bleeding, particularly in this area of displacement. For a country to have 6.7 Nigerians being displaced, you know that the magnitude is alarming.
We have developed and redirect the focus of the ministry towards providing durable solutions. The National Social Registrar should not be a permanent destination. So also our IDP camps should not be where people remain there permanently. People staying in camp for more than 10 years, I don't think is acceptable.
This year's message on strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities is a call to action for nations to adopt global approach by empowering communities to become self-reliant and build resilience, and the federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, are taking deliberate steps to empower vulnerable groups through its diverse initiatives from skills to grants.
To ensure that, one, there is emergency intervention fund that Mr. President granted approval to augment what is currently ongoing, to also work with the international community like the European Union. In the next few days, we are going to reach out to almost 2,199,000 91,000 Nigerians with a rapid cash transfer that will be to the tune of almost 54 billion through the National Social Investment Program Agency, the NSPA, through our government enterprises and empowerment program.
As the world celebrates this day, it is a call to action to protect those who really matters, who put their lives on the line. And for those who will be at the brunt, it is a time for all to act for humanity. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
While as resources are shrinking globally and malnutrition increasing, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has called on key players to support government efforts to save millions of lives in the face of humanitarian crises. This was emphasized during a stakeholders' engagement in partnership with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to mark the activities in Abuja. Ruth Aguela again reports.
It's been 22 years since the attack of aid workers in Baghdad that saw the birth of the World Humanitarian Day by the United Nations. And these humanitarian actors have gathered to not just honor aid workers, but advocate for the protection of humanitarian workers, strengthen collaborations, enhance interventions to mitigate shocks, and bridge gaps that put a strain on humanitarian interventions in Nigeria.
Humanitarian financing is collapsing. We must therefore transform a humanitarian operation to be more efficient, more transparent, and more accountable.
If we succeed in this reset, communities will not only recover, they will lead. Aid dependency will decline. Humanitarian emergencies will become the exception, not the norm.
Recognizing the challenges faced in meeting humanitarian needs across the country, the ministry reiterates federal government commitment to restore livelihoods to vulnerable groups, to change the narrative through durable solutions.
The ministry is committed to developing humanitarian policies, providing effective coordination of national and international humanitarian intervention, and implementing emergency-related policies. We are working to ensure that efforts are inclusive, sustainable.
We urgently call for the protection of humanitarian workers
A joint action by all parties with a pledge to build safe societies through peace initiatives and commitment to prioritize life-saving humanitarian interventions and restore hope among vulnerable groups across the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
The Defense Headquarters, in a significant move to strengthen civil-military relations and foster trust with host communities in Nigeria, extended humanitarian and medical services to residents of Paduma, a community located within the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Our defense correspondent reports on the outreach program. The sun decided to shine brighter at Paduma community as the Defense Civil-Military Relations and the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association brought vital health services and essential supplies directly to the doorsteps of the people, many of whom lack easy access to basic health care and social support. The military hopes to deepen public cooperation, which is crucial in addressing internal security challenges.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Agbabe Musa, takes humanity and human security as one of his focal points. So noting that the world celebrates the World Humanitarian Day worldwide today, he made it a point of duty for us to identify a community and send palliatives to them, just to show them love, to show them empathy.
By the time you show love, others copy what you're doing. And if we live with love, then the world goes around, there's peace.
Especially these soldiers, they have been trained for us. If there's any emergency, we normally call them and they'll assist without delay or wasting time. They are trying.
I feel very, very fine because my eye is paining me. Today they give me eyeglass.
The Paduma outreach stands as a testament to the Defense Headquarters' commitment to national unity, peace building and inclusive development. And away from World Humanitarian Day celebration, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it will continue to strengthen collaboration and adopt new strategies in mitigating disasters across the country. Director General of the agency, Zubaida Umar, stated this at a workshop on disaster risk reduction, documenting collaboration with United Nations Development Program. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Disaster risk reduction mechanisms is a strategy introduced by the United Nations General Assembly in 2014 to change the narrative of disaster management from reactive to proactive for effective mitigation of the menace. Since the introduction of this strategy, NEMA has been strategizing and strengthening collaboration to manage the situation with the use of the new strategy. This stakeholders validation workshop is therefore on a draft development of the National Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy.
So the National Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy 2025 to 2030 and the Action Plan 2025 to 2028 is therefore a timely and necessary strategic document designed to strengthen and institutionalize resilience across critical sectors of the country.
We must always remember that disasters, whether natural or human-induced, are not gender-neutral. Women, children, persons with disabilities, and the elderly are disproportionately affected.
Nigeria's disaster risk reduction strategy is more than a document. It is a blueprint for action. It will guide our efforts to reduce disaster risk.
The validation workshop experts believe that the sustained strategy can go a long way in reducing the hazards faced by flood victims. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Now let's head straight to the judiciary. The Federal High Court, sitting in Abuja, has fixed 10th September 2025 for ruling on the bail application filed by Defense Counsel in the terrorism trial of suspects of the 2022 attack on a Catholic church in Owo, Ondo State. Chukunonso Wabueze reports that the court also granted the prosecution counsel's witnesses protection application.
At commencement of the day's proceedings, the prosecution counsel Callistus Eze informed the court that Ayodeji Adedipe, senior advocate of Nigeria, has appealed for the fiat of the Attorney General of the Federation to take over the matter as the lead prosecution counsel, prompting his application for an adjournment to ensure the completion of the process. He also prayed the court to grant a motion ex parte on witness protection filed on the 14th of August 2024 in pursuant to Section 73, subsections 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. Without any objection by the defense counsel Abdullahi Muhammad, the trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, granted the prosecution counsel's prayer. On the issue of motion on notice for bail application filed on the 11th of August 2025, the defense counsel informed the court of their willingness to go on with the motion despite receiving a counter affidavit from the prosecution counsel. He urged the court to grant bail to the 5 defendants on the grounds that he is supporting his motion with 2 paragraphs of affidavit deposed to by a litigation secretary in his law firm, alleging that more than 3 years since the arrest of the defendants, he nor their relatives have been able to have access to them as against what was granted by the court. The prosecution counsel, while objecting to the bail application, argued that the defendants and their applicants have not presented to the court sufficient grounds upon which the court should rule in their favor. Justice Emeka Nwite, after taking the counsel's submissions, adjourned the matter to the 10th September 2025 for ruling on the bail application.
We are moving. It's good. If it had been like this since about 3-4 years they've been kept, perhaps we would have finished this case.
These people have been accused of belonging to a foreign terrorist organization. You cannot just allow them to roam the street. We need to protect our country. That is why we have said they shouldn't be granted, because we don't know the length that they may have access to.
The 5 defendants accused of masterminding the 2022 attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, are facing terrorism charge preferred against them by the federal government. Chukwunonsonwa Bweze, NTN News.
2 notorious drug kingpins have been convicted and sentenced to a combined 10 years imprisonment by Federal High Court in Lagos. One was arrested in Ikeja, Lagos, after NDLA operatives dismantled his drug trafficking network, leading to a recovery of 24 jumbo bags containing 681 pouches of Canadian loud, a strain of cannabis. Upon arraignment in court, Justice Dende Dikweolu sentenced him to 6 years in prison with an option of 50 million naira in lieu of jail. The second person was first arrested by men of customs service along Shagamu-Ijebu-Ode Expressway with 2,197 kilograms of skunk, after which he was arraigned before the same judge, who also convicted and sentenced him to 4 years in prison with an option of 50 million naira fine. While the Federal High Court, Abuja Division, has ordered the 4 bank accounts allegedly linked to the immediate past Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, should be temporarily frozen. Justice Emeka Nwite gave the order after counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ogechi Uja, moved an ex parte motion to that effect. The EFCC informed the court that the application was based on ongoing investigations into some alleged fraudulent transactions concerning the former NNPC GCEO. The Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, has affirmed the status of the Appellate Court as final arbiter to hear and determine all labor matters. The clarification came to the fore as a panel of the Intermediate Court, led by Justice Okon Abang, dismissed an application by Kogi State Government to obtain a stay of execution on a judgment which was given in favor of former Deputy Governor Simon Achuba that Kogi State Government should pay 1,070 million naira salary arrears owed to him while in office.
Just as the Court of Appeal held in this ruling this morning, counsel should learn to, first of all, look at what the law says before taking any brief from any client, no matter how juicy that brief is. What is the position of the law? You have to advise your client on what the law says.
It ordered counsel to Kogi State Government to pay 3 million naira to the respondent, Simon Achuba, before any further step is taken on the matter, saying the counsel apparently did not guide his clients properly on the matter. And away from the judiciary, Nigeria's national broadcaster and Africa's largest TV network, the NTA, has been positioned to create deep connections with viewers and audiences around the world. It is currently undergoing critical facility upgrade with targets to improve content quality, news and programs impact, as well as expanded switch and reliability. Nnamdi Odipo tells us more.
These days, television is all about integrated feeds, real-time data and advanced technology, all morphing to evolve quality content that meets audiences' expectations.
Modernization is therefore key, and NTA realizes it must move beyond continued reliance on obsolete technology. By integrating new technologies into an already existing framework and doing so almost seamlessly while maintaining 24/7 broadcast requires near military precision.
And that is what the NTA is doing with its latest upgrade in broadcast facilities. It has invested in a fleet of state-of-the-art digital HD SDI broadcast equipment, most of which have been rolled out and dispatched to its stations across the country. And what we see now are transformations of dim analog control rooms and studios into vibrant, fully digitized production hubs. In many cases, brand new iPad digital transmitters were acquired and dispatched to some state stations in a bid to push NTA's signal further and clearer than ever before.
This equipment I will receive are highly definition equipment that have improved the quality of our signal, and it's an investment worthwhile.
And for sure, the quality of what that will be coming out of our studios now will really be greater, brighter, crisp picture to our viewers at home.
The target is not only to replace crumbling equipment, but to upgrade to modern, energy-efficient digital units. Already, early signs from NTA's zonal centers are promising. The quality of the signals and broadcasts from the zones that have been upgraded are turning viewers accustomed to the old NTA. And to guarantee broadcasts stay on air, come rain or shine, grid or no grid, massive solar power plants like the 60 kVA systems in Enugu have been set up to ensure power reliability.
With that, we have tackled the issue of power outage.
We received 3 JVC cameras. We received 2 55-inch monitors, tripods, an editing system that is called Think Station, LED lights, vision and audio mixers, and other accessories that are very, very useful.
The equipment will no doubt enhance our output, our productions, and give us more leverage.
So far, nearly 5 billion naira worth of investment have gone into this round of upgrade, and for NTA as the national broadcaster, that speaks to deeper issues beyond just ratings. For NTA, the imperatives are clear. To survive the times and competitive arena of media convergence, it must continue to balance its monumental legacy with an uncompromising digital future. In Abuja, Nnamdi Odipo, NTA News.
A soil scientist and agriculturist advocating sensitization and fertilizer application and adoption of climate-smart agricultural technology towards attaining food security. This was discussed at the 2025 Annual Policy Dialogue on Soil, Climate and Agriculture Sustainability held in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
The multi-stakeholder forum is dedicated to advancing dialogue and action on soil health and the impact of climate change.
Provide solutions that will help to reinvigorate the environment, and therefore towards a better health for all.
The first topic addressed was fertilizer application and its effects on soil health.
So we also take into consideration that some of these fertilizers might affect the soil. So what do we need to do at that point in time to look at what are the organic amendments we can add to them to minimize that impact of soil acidification and degradation.
Discussions also focused on climate-smart agriculture as a potential solution to global warming. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Aliusabi Abdullahi, represented at the event, announced that a soil health policy has been drafted and will soon be made public.
The annual policy dialogue on soil is expected to provide advisory guidance to the government and research institutions on effective soil management. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And away from agriculture, the International Human Rights Commission has conferred two of its highest honors on Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi in recognition of his administration's stride in girl-child education, youth empowerment, and support for vulnerable groups. The award, the Order of the Pride of Africa and the 2025 Nelson Mandela Medal for the Long Walk to Freedom are reserved for leaders who stand firmly with and for their people. Muhammad Musa Askira has the details.
Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has added another feather to his cap, receiving international accolades for policies and programs that have touched lives across the state. The Order of the Pride of Africa and the Nelson Mandela Medal for the Long Walk to Freedom were presented to the governor in Dutse by the head of African Mission of the International Human Rights Commission, Tevlumun Innocent Ahure, who led a delegation to the state. The International Human Rights Commission's team had spent several days touring local government areas, assessing the grassroots impacts of the Namadi administration's initiatives, particularly in education, youth development and poverty alleviation.
Jigawa State government has kept girl child education free completely. It's a very wonderful reason why this award is going to be bestowed today. Also, the persons living with disabilities,
we will continue to work hard. We are their servant. We are supposed to serve them. And that is why all our policies are people's-oriented policies.
The International Human Rights Commission noted that the awards are bestowed only on leaders whose commitments to human rights, equality, and community welfare mirrors the enduring legacy of Nelson Mandela. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And time to join Adiola in Lagos for stories making the rounds from the Center of Excellence. Good evening, Adiola. It's over to you. Rounds from...
For the fourth edition of the Nigeria Electronic Media Content Exhibitions and Awards, NEMSIA 2025, with the theme Sustainable Content Creation in a Fragmented Media Space. President of the Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria, Adeniji Omiri, announced expected impacts and activities for the two-day event scheduled for September 16th and 17th in Lagos. Awal Yusuf Jibo has details.
Since its inception, NIMSIA has grown into one of the most influential gatherings in Nigeria's media, telecom, and creative economy. More than just an exhibition, it has become a marketplace for collaboration, a hub for innovation, and a celebration of excellence in television, film, radio, advertising, and digital platforms.
By equipping our professionals, students, and emerging creators with these skills, we position Nigeria not just consumer of global media technology, but a producer of content and innovation that can stand on any stage in the world.
To unlock the vast potential of Nigeria's creative economy, a major highlight of the 2025 edition is the introduction of the AI in Production Masterclass.
Co-creating with machines, harnessing artificial intelligence in video editing, scripting, graphics, cinematography, content creation, audience engagement, and workflow optimization.
If you are entering your content for any category, please do well to also give us access to that platform, because sometimes people even enter and you cannot access their content.
Broadcasters, advertisers, agencies, brand custodians, content creators, tech innovators, investors, and policy makers have been urged to participate in NIMSIA 2025. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Gender-based violence can be a very excruciating experience for victims, with many needing psychological support to heal from their traumatic experiences, from physical to emotional torture. efforts to change these unwanted narrative, experts say, rely majorly on reporting and public enlightenment on the harmful effect it has on the society. Joao Kukwola has the report.
Gender-based violence is a thorny issue the nation has been grappling with. Reports from various law enforcement agencies and non-governmental organizations reveal that there are numerous cases of attacks on vulnerable persons by their spouses, which has claimed more than 10 lives this year alone. This is not limited to physical abuse, as in some cases the aggressors inflict emotional torture, which has far-reaching impact on mental health. In Lagos, the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency has been working to change this unwanted narrative through synergy with major stakeholders, but breaking the culture of silence, experts say, is essential to achieve the desired impact.
We can't afford to continue to play the ostrich. We can't afford to continue to act as if it's not happening. We believe that we are gradually breaking the culture of silence in Lagos. If you look at our data, we see that we are recording steady increase of formal and informal reporting of cases.
The police has an active unit on gender violence, which has been reviewing and responding to reported cases.
And lots of reports. The issue is, do they follow through? We have a problem in that regard. People come forward to report, and when it's time to go testify in court, some people back out. So we need to sensitize people. We've been doing that, but we need to sensitize people more on the need to follow through with the prosecution.
Stakeholders unanimously agreed that only concerted and consistent efforts will end the anomaly. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And we're done with our contributions from Lagos.
Good to have you here at this time. Now we talk business. The Nigerian Governors Forum is strengthening partnership with key players across sectors through project financing. This is to secure credible investment opportunities for states. This is coming to fruition following the official launch of Investopedia, a pool of investment vehicles to widen cash inflows for rapid growth and transformation. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
From the center of the organized private sector in Lagos, Nigeria, to the Asian commercial city of Kano, and from the oil-rich state of Rivers to the food basket in Benue, the potential goes beyond geopolitical spread. Now, Chairman Nigerian Governors Forum Abdulrazak Abdurrahman said 36 state governors under the initiative of Investopedia are pioneering and steering the wheel of investment.
It is not just a catalog, it is an entry point showing investors not only where to invest, but also how to invest in Nigeria.
We are no longer just discussing potential, but presenting bankable pathways for global, African, and domestic capital.
Captains of industry and accomplished business partners described the move as inspiring in driving a thorough process that will open a new vista of investment at subnational through continental and global trade frameworks.
The Aspect Initiative convenes governors, premiers, mayors, and other sub-sovereign leaders across the African continent to facilitate the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
Nigeria's strength comes from our states and local communities. Also, we establishing resilient healthcare programs.
Unlocking private and public capital in utilizing resources, a catalyst for building solid infrastructure and creating millions of jobs for the future, as aptly captured in the theme, Nigeria's Investment Gateway. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Now from investment to insurance, where the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, say they are committed to working together to strengthen the sector. The Commissioner for Insurance, Olusegun Ayo Omusheyin, says recapitalization of the insurance industry is no longer an option, but a legislative mandate aimed at transforming institutions and improving service delivery. Speaking during a council visit to the Securities and Exchange Commission in Abuja, Omosheyin noted that the reform would reposition the sector for growth and sustainability. Director General of SEC, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, described the new act as a new dawn for the industry. He pledged the Commission's support, assuring NICOM of technical guidance and urging insurance operators to embrace digitalization to improve efficiency. And now to the markets. At this time, investors lost 1.33 trillion naira as market capitalization fell to 90.23 trillion naira. A total of 1.027 billion shares in 34,339 deals corresponding to market value of 17.649 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 2% decline in volume, 17% improvement in turnover, but 10% decline in deals. On the aggregate, 129 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 26 gainers and 39 losers. That's it at this time.
Thanks, Benny. It's always a pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, sure. Always a pleasure.
Now, 500 women in Gombe State woke up to a new chapter of possibility when they received 50,000 naira each to keep their businesses alive and provide for their families. Zara Umar Adamu reports that the gesture came from the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, under her Renewed Hope Initiative's Economic Empowerment Program.
It was indeed a day of renewed hope, as hundreds of women gathered to receive what many described as a lifeline. The program, a partnership between the Renewed Hope Initiative and the Tony Elimilu Foundation, is designed to provide beneficiaries with recapitalization grants to expand and sustain their small businesses.
It is my firm belief that when you empower a woman, you empower a household, a community, and indeed a nation.
Excited, the women believe the grant will not only strengthen their businesses, but also uplift their families.
We appreciate you for this program. It's a wonderful program that came to Gombe. We really appreciate you. We thank you because you really showed love to us in Gombe.
Mother who has a heart for all the women and families in Gombe State, and that's why she launched this program all the way from. So we appreciate and thank her. Everybody is now enjoying, as you can see in the hall.
We say thank you. May the Lord bless her, bless her family, and bless our country, Nigeria.
With the Renewed Hope Initiative gathering momentum, more women are getting the strength and capital to improve their economic future. Zara Umar Adamu, NTA News.
And winners of the August 16th by-elections will receive certificates of return Thursday and Friday this week. INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olumekon, statement says National Assembly members-elect will be presented with the certificates in Abuja and State Assembly members-elect at INEC state offices. The statement further clarifies that winners of the two court-ordered State Assembly rerun elections in Kano and Enugu have been declared. However, the Commission will conclude the Kaura Namuda South State constituency election of Zamfara State on Thursday, 21st of August 2025. Another break, Becca. Glad to know you're still there. Badi Adele standing by with details of happenings from the world of sports. Badi.
Many thanks, Olajide. Let's begin with gymnastics, as TIG Gymnastics Club and LLNG Gymnastics Club have returned to the country after flying the nation's flag at the Africa Club Championship in South Africa. The teams who represented Nigeria at the continental event were warmly received on arrival by the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko. He praised their performances and urged them to remain committed to lifting the nation's colors even higher in future competitions. The championship, staged in Centurion, Pretoria, from August the 15th to 16th, featured more than 250 gymnasts drawn from top clubs across South Africa and Uganda.
This shows that there's potentials in the sport, and if we continue to support and make sure they develop, probably Nigeria will be having medals in the future in the gymnastics sport.
It feels nice, and I'm happy to be back here with these medals. This is my first international competition, and the fact that I was able to get at least one medal, I actually feel very good about it.
I won 5 silver medals on all apparatus, including over.
Moving on, the Ikogosi Road Race. And of course, that is the historic town of Ikogosi in Ekiti, which will be hosting the second edition of the Ikogosi 17.5-kilometer road race on November 8th, 2025. Famous for its warm springs, Ikogosi will again take center stage as Ekiti strengthens its profile in tourism and sports. Organized in partnership with the Ikogosi Marathon Initiative, the race will not only draw national and international attention, but also empower more than 500 youths and promote local artisans and SMEs. The event aligns with Governor Abiodun Oyebanji's vision to make Ekiti Nigeria's top destination for tourism and economic empowerment. Under his leadership, the state has seen major improvements in sports, infrastructure, revitalization of the local teams, and support for businesses. Let's quickly let you know that Nigeria bowed out of the African Nations Championship CHAN 2024 with a morale-boosting 2-0 win over Congo in Dar es Salaam. But it was not enough to rescue their campaign as Sudan and Senegal progressed from Group D. The result, sealed by goals from Anas Yusuf and Sikiru Alimi, restored some pride for the Super Eagles after back-to-back defeats had condemned them to an early elimination. Congo, who needed a win to keep their own hopes alive, were left devastated, finishing bottom of the pool. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Buddy. President Bola Tinubu extended his heartfelt condolences to Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo of Kogi State on the passing of his father, Ahmed Mohamed Sani Ododo. In a statement via the Special Advisor Information and Strategy, Bayon Onuga, the President stresses that his thoughts and prayers are with the Ododo family, friends and the people of Kogi State as they mourn the deceased. He prays for the peaceful repose of the soul of the departed and God's comfort for the bereaved family. The Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, is saddened by the death of the father of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo of Kogi State. The governor's father, Ahmed Mohamed Sani Ododo, died on Monday at the age of 83. In a statement by Kwara State Governor and NGF Chairman Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, the forum stands in firm solidarity with his family at this time of profound grief for the Ododo family. Also, the National Working Committee of the governing All Progressive Congress has also condoled with Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo over the death of his father. A statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, described the passing of the respected community leader in Okene local government area of Kogi State as a colossal loss, which has created a vacuum that will be difficult to fill. The APC prayed Almighty Allah to comfort the bereaved families and grant the deceased eternal rest. And following the recent passing of notable public affairs analyst Professor Otello Kuli, aged 83, an evening of tributes is to be held in his honor tomorrow, August 20th, at the Electoral Institute Annex Central Business District, Abuja. Time is 5 p.m. Service of songs will hold at 5 p.m. on Thursday, August 21st, at Cathedral Church of the Advent, Abuja. His body will lie in state at the same venue on Friday, while interment also holds the same day at the Gudu Cemetery. And up next is the weather forecast.
Welcome to the weather forecast. I'm Sefia Seng Yunusa. Let's take a look at what's expected for Wednesday. Morning thunderstorms are likely in parts of Adama, Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, and Kaduna, with chances of rain in Nasarawa, Plateau, FCT, Niger, and Cross River. As we head into the afternoon, widespread thunderstorms with moderate rain are expected across the northern region, extending into the north-central cities. We also have chances of rain along the coastal cities, including parts of Ogun, Oshun, and Ebonyi. Now, let's see how this weather pattern impacts the temperature. Thanks for watching.
And that's it on the network news. Many thanks for